We are live from the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, continuing to bring you the latest on the ongoing Tumaini initiative here. My guest in the studio today, Al-Hadi Hawari, is Mr. Daniel Deng. He's a civil society activist representing refugees, diaspora, civil society, and also people with special need. He is based here in Kenya. He is our guest this morning. Daniel, good morning and welcome to our mini studio right away from the Tumaini initiative in Nairobi. Welcome.
Good morning, Emmanuel, and good morning, the viewers in Juba and online as well.
Yes. Daniel, let's have a brief introduction about what do you do really here in Nairobi.
Yeah, I'm based here in Nairobi on the areas of my activism, especially that is what confined me in Nairobi. I've been here for a while, since 2013. In Nairobi, also, I can say I'm a permanent refugee who is based because I can see Kenya is safer than South Sudan to me. So I'm in Nairobi, I'm in a school, I'm also engaging the citizen of South Sudan in Kenya in whatever is going on there in the country. So that is what I'm doing here.
I understand you have an organization?
Yes, I have organization.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, FADO is Peace, Advocacy and Equality organization that is focused for women, conflict resolution, focus on issues relating with a person with a special need empowerment, focus on girl-child empowerment. So we focus so much on the issues to advocate on the issues of conflict resolution for our country, our people, to see the dividend of conflicts that has affected them for a very long time.
Right. And Daniel,
the dividend of peace, I mean.
Yes. And Daniel, now, you are one of the delegates to this Tumaini initiative. Would like you briefly to give us your assessment and what do you make of the process so far?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say thank you, Emmanuel, for me to be in a studio, yeah? Giving you an assessment, let me go back to congratulate especially those who have rethink for this initiative, especially the government of South Sudan that I've called the Kenya government, to help them or to bring them out in this kind of protracted conflict. What they have done, it is one of the things that we can say, yes, that is what we need all along. So we appreciate the leadership of President Salva. Also, on the other hand, we appreciate President William Ruto for accepting what the president called him to do. I myself appreciate the chief mediator who is here now with us, engaging the parties, stakeholders, and even those who have not yet, those who are yet to come, especially we are still calling for two General Garwidwal and General Shirilo. So coming back to the assessment of this initiative, I can say it is too early. I will not be able to say more about it because it is too early. We have not reached the stage that will make political parties have pulling and pushing. But there is a hope in it because the way the mediators are doing it, it shows that they have really, they know the challenges that are facing South Sudan, and they have admitted that South Sudan has to come out from this. So I can tell our viewer that my assessment, let me not preempt it that I will give you hope. No, but it is too early. It is too early to tell you that this agreement will be the successful agreement because we know many agreements have been signed and they have failed. So let me not give you too much hope. Let we hope slowly and then keep praying that this agreement may not be the same with the other agreement which have been signed by the government and the opposition.
Yes. And Daniel would also like you to tell us what has been achieved so far in this process.
Yeah, at the moment, I can say we have achieved some of the things that we think they are the one that are telling the country back. Because we have talked on the issues of justice, talk on the issues of economic, issue to do with governance, issue to do with trust building and the constitution as well. These issues, these are where our problem is. So if these issues are being taken seriously and then implemented seriously, when it comes later as maybe they might be thematic. So if the parties and the government have a political will to implement this, what we have discussed. I'm not saying we have reached the agreement, but this might be some of the thematic later. But we think the parties have agreed on this. There was no coercion. All the parties have agreed on what we have discussed so far.
But also, Daniel, there was an issue of initialing the trust and confidence building matrix. Don't you think that was one of the main challenges, because there was an issue of who to sign?
I don't think whether there is other problem in that, the issue of initial, the document. Mm-hmm. Already the parties have agreed. And what I have learned, they did not agree. They did not agree of who to sign. Mm-hmm. What they have said we need to keep this to be one of the protocol if all the documents are being compiled later. Mm-hmm. So there is no need for people to write and sign this. So that is what I have heard. But to me, on my side also, I see it is not a difficult thing for people to put so out or develop that suspicious. The parties have failed to sign the trust building. Trust building, it is something that you have agreed, and then you do what is supposed to be done. I think the most document that was so good to be signed, it is a declaration. But the current document, it is not an issue, even if it is waiting until we align them with the other document later. I see there is no problem with that.
Yes. And can you also briefly give us an overview on the consultation? We understand after the more than 70 page document given to the delegates by the mediation team, there was no plenary after that. We're just seeing consultation after consultation with different groups. So what happened so far in terms of the consultation? What is it all about, really?
I think in any mediation, consultation is one of the significant in any negotiation or any mediation. Because when the parties are being consulted, it does not mean people are creating another conflict or whatever. The document that we were given, it is a big document. It is 75 pages. And this document, it needs people to think over it again, even if it is we who produced it the other day. So we have to go back page by page, chapter by chapter, until we finish this. On the side of the consultation that is going on now from the mediators, yes, they want to see what is there in your mind, what is there in the document, what do you want to add, and what do you want to subtract. That is what they are doing now. So whatever we have done as a civil society, political parties, the government delegate, they are doing the same what we have done as civil society. If there is any subtraction, or if there is anything that you need to add, what you have not put on the other day, these are the things that we are doing. Maybe in the meantime, the mediation committee may call us to tell us exactly, this is what you have brought to us. Are you agree with it? In a plenary. But at the moment, we are still working in that in order for us to put our energy in the document and the parties as well. Thank you.
And also, Daniel, tell us how different is this process really from the revitalized peace agreement?
To me, this agreement or this process might be different with revitalized peace agreement on some reason. First of all, Kenya, they know the suffering of South Sudanese. Secondly, they know South Sudanese political leaders in person. They know how do they think. especially the way the country collapsed in their hand. It is one of the things that concern Kenya. And when they negotiate CPA, they knew very well South Sudanese stayed in the bush for almost 3 decades or 4 decades. But when they put their energy, it was not just the political leaders by then pushing for CPA. It is citizens of Kenya, because they know the suffering of South Sudanese in Kenya. So they put their energy and they focus so much and they pray for us. So for this process to be different, I know General Sambia, who is the current chief mediator, was the chief mediator for Sudan and South Sudan, CPA by then. This person, he knows people by name, and he knows the suffering of the citizens. So I believe this will be different, because the most important thing, these people, they don't have interest in the process here. Their interest, it is the success of South Sudan as a country, the success of the citizens of South Sudan people, but they don't have any other interest apart from what I have said.
Yes. And Daniel, also the revitalized peace agreement talks about the repatriation and voluntary return of refugees to South Sudan, refugees and IDPs as well. So is this initiative going also to address the situation of refugees? You are one of them, based here since 2013, as you mentioned, Daniel.
I think it will, or it might not. But I think one of the repatriation when people are going back home, there are some of the indicators that make people to go home. At the moment, what makes South Sudanese not to go back home? It is not the war. What makes South Sudanese not to go home? It is the insecurity that the government failed to address. This insecurity is not created by the political parties who are fighting. It is not being created by anybody. It is the government that could have done it, because there are ethnic issues, plus some of the grave people which the government could have even worked so hard to sit with those grave people within South Sudan. For example, now we have General Boy, his posts are quite far away. The same to somebody like General Malone, his posts are quite far away. And the same to Chirilo, his posts are quite far away. But these ethnic issues, it is not relating completely with the issue of political or warring parties who are outside. On the issues of child abduction, it cannot make people to go home because some of the families are taking care for their children. The issue of education, there is no school, as we know. And here in Kenya, the UN give them a school, the same to Uganda. They have studied. So as long they are under UN, they are comparable than home. So if the government have addressed all this, the issue of insecurity, building a school, having infrastructure, having health care centers, people will go back because it is their country. So going back, it is something that we cannot push. It is something that we cannot push. It is voluntarily. Citizens will go when they see the government have done something.
And what's your take on the issue of elections? Now we are here on the Tumaini initiative, but then also back home, according to the roadmap, the 2-year extension, elections should be held in December this year. As a person representing refugees and people with special needs in the Tumaini, what's your comment?
Emmanuel, the issue of election is a process. And if election is a process, it is not something that you can wake up in the morning and then you say you are going to throw your ballot box throw your vote for anybody. It is something that needs planning, and it will take years. But as the agreement said, at the end of this current agreement, people will go for election. When we discussed this year, we realized that the government of the day, with all the political parties in Juba, they have implemented only 20%. 20%, it cannot give people a space even to select the political leader they want. Nothing has been done. And that is the failure of the system. It is the failure of the warring parties. What makes them not to implement the agreement? Is it because they are comfortable with the seat that they are having now? Is it because they are not concerned for the suffering of South Sudanese people? It is something that needs to be asked to them, because nothing has been done. And if people go for election, I don't know how they will do it, the way they will do it. Right now, all the political parties are not participating in campaign. It is only SPLM, and not even within the country. It is some areas that are now being just cut and say this is SPLM way. And that is not the, you cannot go as one party to election. People should be given that space. Political space has to be open. Second to it, the biggest problem, they have not done anything. The election commission, I don't know whether they can deliver. Citizens, they need to be educated on how to vote, but nothing has been done. It started from the big people here. They have done nothing. So I don't think the issue of election at the moment, it is something that South Sudanese to sit down and decide it. Can we go for election? What kind of election can we do? Is it consensus election? Is it a parliamentary election? Or can we stop it? Or what will be done if we stop it, not to go for election? These are the things that need all South Sudanese. Need a bigger consultation for us to think over this. But President Salva cannot come out in the morning and say, just you go and vote. For who? Kir himself, he doesn't even have opponent in the party, and his constitution, especially SPLM constitution. People should compete, I mean. People should compete.
So you're saying we are not ready for elections?
They are not ready.
I mean,
not
the
we.
prerequisites are not yet met for December.
Yes, we citizens, we were ready for election, but nothing has been done that can take us for election, because we don't want to throw a vote nowhere. We need to hear what they are saying, what is their plan for us as a citizen, because the contract that we gave them in 2010, they are violated. At the moment, we are not free to say we had a contract earlier, but that contract completely has been violated now. So at the moment, we need to know. We need to know what you say, what the other person say, in order to give my vote to the person that I will question if he or she failed to deliver what we agreed for. South Sudanese, whenever the elephant are fighting, those who suffered sometime, it is the grass. We, the person with disability, the woman, the girl, children, we are the victim of this war. And we should not take it as we, person with disability or special need, that are suffering alone. The whole country is suffering, and therefore it is very difficult for those who are carrying our constitution, those who are holding our laws into their hand, to think of us, because they are thinking so much on themselves. So I want to tell you that whatever we are trying to do, or whatever the prospect that we are doing here, is not just to go to the system. Not. We are focusing on the system to be diverse for each and every person in the country, to be recognized. So if you see this issue of rebellion, it happened because there are some denial, some of the things that have been denied to them, and then they have to rebel because they have energy to fight. That is why they go to the bush. But we, person with a disability, we cannot go to the bush. We suffered with the silence. So I want to tell you that what we are trying to do now, it is just to fix South Sudan, and then later we will be able to get our share. Because our share, it is something that we will demand, but we cannot fight for it. Somebody has question on the issue of Shirilo, the lack of inclusivity. Yes, we, the civil society and the parties, we have agreed. We need each and every a person who is carrying arm at the moment. People are still pushing. In our side, especially the side of civil society, you know very well Yakani. Yakani is at the front side, engaging them, both of them, the Shirilo and Garwidwal, because we need them. Because if we go to Juba to fail together, and then we will know that there is no anybody who is still in the bush. And there will be no even a claim from the government of the day to say, I'm not deliver because so and so are disturbing the government in the bush. So as we speak now, we are trying so much to call, even you yourselves, if you have a relation with somebody like Garwidwal, somebody like Thomas Chirilo, or any other person who is carrying arms, you can reach out, because this initiative, we believe it is going to produce something that will not discourage people of South Sudan. And it is going to give us space to question the government if the government is not delivered. Because in 2013, when IO and other political parties were in the bush, the government used to say, no, you see, we are not delivered because IO is in the bush. As if IO plus other parties have taken the money from Juba. So we can assure you that we need everybody for us to close this chapter of blaming those who are in the bush. So that is what I can tell you. We need inclusive, not just inclusive, whereby all the ideas has to be regarded. That is what we can say. On the issue of refugee
strategy and
yes,
what can be what have you presented really here about the repatriation?
Yes, about
the situation of
yes. On the issue of refugee, you see, in the international law, you cannot force a refugee to go back by force. It is them to identify or see whether the conducive or the environment is conducive for them, those who are going back home. So if there is no anything that being done by the government, it will be difficult for us even to free them, because they are under international law, the refugee. So we cannot free them. It is not we, those who are here in the initiative, to initiate the strategy. It is the government in Juba that will work so hard to create a conducive environment for people to go back. Because people, they want to go back. But if there is all this ethnic tension, child abduction, there is no school, there is no health, it will be difficult for them to go back, because the country that they are now, they are second home to them. They have a security, they have a school, they have health, and their life. They don't fear for their life every night. But if they go back home and then they lost their children, it will be difficult for them now to go back. I have my friend that have talked about the issue of security reform and the constitution.
That's Majong Sudan.
Majong Sudan. You see, Majong, I can tell you for sure, what caused us as a South Sudanese, it is the issue and the failure of the security sector. You know very well, we don't have a very strong national army. We don't have a way whereby now, what is the role of police? What is the role of Sujun? What is the role of the army? And these people, they don't even know they are there as our strongest people to protect us, protect our sovereignty, protect our borders. But the biggest challenge at the moment now, they turn to us maybe the way they are being taught or the way they are being trained. So the issue of security sector, it has been discussed extensively. And it is something that needs to be done. And I think even the former agreement, I've talked about it. But what makes it fail to be reformed and then to be implemented? We will still put our fingers to the current system. On the side of the constitution, you see, you know very well the constitution, there is a commission that have been appointed, and that commission, since the time that they were given that mandate, up to date, They have not delivered anything. So we see it is the opportunity for the constitution, especially the document, to be written first draft, to be written outside. And then it will be taken back to you. You will look at it. If it is meeting your aspiration, you will take it. If it is not meeting your aspiration, and then you will reject it. But we believe the text that is going to be written here, it is going to help you. That is what we believe so. Thank you so much. On the other side, there is another question. Why do people rebel, maybe?
Yes. Why do people continue to rebel, especially when they are relieved from their positions?
Yes, when they are relieved in their position. This agreement, the agreement, ACRES, it has been extended many times, and even the roadmap. And the politicians do it by themselves, without citizens. So to me, I believe there is a need for this discussion to take place. If it is to be extended, it should be citizen extension. If it is this Tumaini, to extend it, there will be a clear mandate, timeline, and if they fail to do that, citizen will act. Because you citizen, you are the backbone of this country. But if you are keeping quiet also, and then politicians will take advantage of you. Thank you.
What's your message to refugees and also internally displaced persons, IDPs, back home in South Sudan?
Yeah, to the refugee, I know there are challenges that are facing you outside. But you are benefiting as your children are going to school, as you are getting health, and you are sleeping without fear at night. I can tell you for sure, you continue having that hope, because I know there is a need for you to be in your country. Some of the children who are born in 90s outside of the country, now they become mothers. But I can tell you for sure,
or even fathers,
and they are fathers at the moment. So I can tell you for sure, you need to continue having hope. One day, one time, the country will achieve stability. For those who are IDP, yes, I know, and there is a need for you also to engage political leaders, because what confines you in those IDP camps, it is a political interest of the parties that are fighting, and they are not even engaging you for you to build trust with them. So I can tell you for that, if there is a room for you to engage those political leaders, ask them with a serious question, because that is what makes a country to move forward. So staying in the IDP, maybe you are fearing, let the political leaders give you a concrete answer. Why do we stay in IDP? And you are here as our political leaders. But if you don't ask them, they will not come back to you, and they will not tell you, go out.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your last message before we wind up, Daniel, on the Dawn today?
My last message is going to citizens of South Sudan and even political leaders. When we sit as a South Sudanese, it is very important, because we know very well the war that was initiated by few individuals in 2013, it has caused us so much. We are being isolated by the international community. We are being subjected to humiliation. And we are so focused so much on ourselves, hitting ourselves. But I can tell you, let we come back to our consensus. The reason that makes us to fight for the liberation, let we revisit that history. And I can tell South Sudanese, let we achieve, or let we focus so much on the issue of dialogue. Let we forget the issue of arm. If you are discontented, don't fight. Let we have a friendly dialogue. Let we agree on some of the things when we are dialogue. But let we not always think of who is good and who is bad.
Right.
We are good, all of us, unless we are being mishandled.
Right.
That is what I can tell you. Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. I think the status of refugee, you know, when you are outside of your country, not all the benefit that you can get. But as long as you are getting security, you are getting education, and you are getting health, then you can praise God for that. So we have a big number of refugees outside of the country, and that is what you need to know. Those refugees here in Kenya, I think we have more than 40,000. The same maybe Uganda, you may have heard one time there was almost 2 million. The same to Ethiopia, there is a big number. Those who are in Sudan, they have come back to South Sudan, and some went to Ethiopia, and some may have come to Kenya. So we have a big number of refugees. That is what we can call, they are the South Sudanese that can make a country proud.
Right. That's all. Al-Hadi Hawari, shukran jazilan. وده كان اللي بيجيبنا لنهاية بتاع فقرة The Dawn.